I'm Mohammad Armanuddin, and in this video, I'm going to talk about a few concepts on prompt engineering. So let's get started with the introduction. The basic difference between a base LLM and instruction-tuned LLM. A base LLM is a language model that has been trained on a vast amount of data. It is generally used for the purpose of predicting what comes next in a text. For example, when you type "the cat is on the," it predicts the next word to be roof, because maybe on the text it was trained on roof had the highest chance of appearing next in the sentence. But this model is not capable of answering to prompts properly. For example, when you ask what is the capital of France, it might not respond with Paris, and rather respond with related questions it found on the quiz website. So this is where instruction-tuned LLM comes into picture. It is a base LLM which has been fine-tuned on instructions on how to respond to queries. So it is further fine-tuned using techniques such as RLHF and so on. So when you ask it a question, what is the capital of France, it is going to respond properly with the capital of France is Paris. There are a couple of guidelines that we need to keep in mind when passing prompts to large language models. The first being to write clear and specific prompts. We can employ four techniques to implement this principle. The first being the usage of delimiters. You can use delimiter steps to separate text in your prompt. For example, when you want to summarize a text, you can summarize this text, and you can the text you want to summarize, you can put it in backtext so that the model can understand that it needs to actually summarize this text and not try to understand or implement what the text wants. The second tactic that you can implement is ask for structured output. You can ask for HTML or JSON response if you want from the model. The third tactic is to check whether the conditions are satisfied. You can ask the model that if a particular condition is satisfied, do this, otherwise do that. For example, when passing a prompt, you can say that if the provided text contains steps, then summarize the steps such as step 1, step 2, step 3, and so on. Otherwise, just respond with no steps provided in the text. The fourth tactic you can use is few-shot prompting. Few-shot prompting is a technique in which you pass example scenarios so that the model can respond according to those scenarios. The second principle that we need to keep in mind is that we need to give the model time to think. When we don't do this, the model might hallucinate, or it might jump to conclusions without understanding the context. There are two tactics that you can implement for this. The first being, you can specify the steps you want. For example, when you're passing a text, you can provide steps such as step 1, summarize the text, step 2, translate the text, so that step 3, and find keywords in the text. So that the large language model can understand what it exactly needs to do. The second thing you can do is you can also ask the model to work out its own response first, and then respond to our prompt accordingly. A problem that we face working with large language models is model hallucination. Hallucinations is a scenario in which model starts inventing text on its own, which might seem real at first, but it actually is not. The way to avoid this is by asking the model to find relevant information on the text first and then responding accordingly. The third thing that we are going to talk about in this video is iterative development towards a better prompt. It is not possible that you get the perfect desired result from the model in the first attempt. It is important that you analyze the mistake that the model made and how you can improve your prompt so that it generates a better response to it. For example, when you're summarizing a model, you ask it to summarize some content, and then you realize that the model has summarized it in a very long paragraph. You can ask the model to summarize it, say, within 50 words. You can ask the model further to use technical terms and so on. So slowly you need to make your prompt better. This is iterative development. The fourth concept I'm going to talk about in this video is summarizing content. Summarizing content is one of the most important, the most common usages of large language models. You can pass a content to it, and you can ask the model to summarize it accordingly. You can also provide text such as you can ask the response to be limited to a few words or a few sentences. You can also ask the model to summarize technical terms from it. You can also ask the let's just take an example with this. If you want to summarize a product review, you can ask the model to summarize a product review within 30 words. If you realize that you want more technical terms in it, or you want the summarizing to be related to the pricing department, so you can ask the model to summarize the product review and include aspects related to the pricing department. You can ask the model if you want to summarize the content and include aspects related to the shipping department and so on. So this is how these are a few scenarios you can work with, and a few tactics that you can implement to make your prompts better. Thank you.